111 degrees, you got that coming. You ain't gonna get no better than that. 111 degrees out in the sun. Walking up, we used to have back pumps, five-gallon back pumps, and you went up and you sprayed a little water on it. You had to walk them down. You had to walk. Hey man, God have you in shape though, boy. You can do stuff like that. You just look at it now and just, hey, that's all right. But this movement that we're a part of, this thing we're doing, we're in the middle of this thing. We're not on the outskirts of it. We're not. And our job, we have to look at, are we doing our job? Okay, what was the original? That we're going to have toughness. We're going to have pertinacity. We're going to have all of that, because this is a long range. So we're going to have to be able to tolerate a long process of struggle, what other people would call humiliation, harassment. All of that. Why you think I don't turn those stuff off? I leave it on for them. I don't want them to stop calling. I want them to keep calling. Because our job, remember, at first, you may have ideas what you want to do, but as you move along, whatever you're trying to do, Allah gonna give you insight. And the old thing about feigning the East and striking the West, they don't know what it means. Because for each different people, it means something different. It may mean striking the West and hitting the West too. Because they think you're going to feint over here and go over there. You may hit bam, bam. And he's running over there to try to stop you. And you're coming right back. What does that mean? He thinks, if we give him enough of this stuff, he'll fight the case right away. Everything they're doing is trying to get me to run back out there and fight the case. They're daring me. Come on. Almost they got it fixed up. We want you to do it. Hey man, we're going to give you this. I don't say that. I said, look, you've been a bad boy. I'm sorry. I didn't go through all of this to cooperate with you. You're going to cooperate with us. Because you're a bad boy. No, that's exactly what we mean to him. You've been bad. You've been bad, and if you want help, you're going to have to come around to where we are. You're going to have to just come around to where we are, because you're not qualified. And, like you say, you got goofy, you got downed up, and they not, look, neither one of them, Democrats or Republicans, how are they going to do anything? Nobody is saying anything about it's like, before they had a 10-year thing out there, and then they had 1 or 2 years of rain. And it's back, man. It's back like, and everything they do increases what they got. Oh, we need more money, so we're going to burn up the Amazon and let plants chickpeas, whatever they call it, soybeans down there, right? And you're going to burn them up. It's going to put more carbon up in the air. You're going to choke the lungs out. The lungs of the world is in Brazil, right? All that Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, the southern part, that's the breathing apparatus for the world. We'll just burn that up, right? In California, a partner of mine called the other day. I said, how y'all doing? They said, well, it's fine. You can't breathe. I said, I'm not coming out there. Especially at my age, I want to breathe like...
Right, I want to breathe.
Yeah, some air. I don't want to be just... can't breathe. But here's the thing. I believe this thing that we're dealing with is... I have believed it. I've been doing it for a long time. It's divinely inspired. Not we divinely inspired, but this thing is. It's clear. It's clear. They're gonna have to come around. Ain't nobody got time to be. Nobody has time to be playing with them. And they are not good. That sounds kind of silly, but they're just not good people. They're not good. And if we cooperated with them, like when we say, hey, you fix my house out there, you can fix it. Or don't fix it, I don't care. I'm not gonna run out there, you know. But it could help, because if you talk to somebody and you say, well, if they fix that house, they don't want to stay over that one, so they want to go out to California and help their mama and them, and their mama and them is old. Well, that's, and they can be whoever they want to be. They can be bad as they want. You know what I mean? But I'm going to treat them good, just like if I can treat these crackpots good, right? I can sure treat somebody good that, I look at it like this. I'm going to look on the best side. I'm going to try to pull the best part out of the Negro. Nobody never tried to pull the best part out of the Negro. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it because I don't think the Negro has been exposed. Nobody has used the right type of patience and concern for the Negro. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Technically, we're just love them to death. You know, I think that some kind of way they just didn't get the right information. All the avenues of light was cut off. So the only thing they had access to was what came through Boss Man. And Boss Man, he's like this historical, you know, the movies, Tractor Beam, you know, Star Trek. They're a historical tractor beam. You know that tractor beam, they lock it on you, you can't get out of it. Okay, look at their behavior. They're in a historical tractor beam. They want better climate, but we need more money. And right now, the top rich is getting rich, and everybody is starving to death. Right. That is a classical recipe for revolution. Yeah. The divide the people, the big middle class keeps everything in balance, super poor, everybody, and 4 or 5 super rich. It's a recipe. So what we say is, no. We don't want nothing they got. We're going to just try to do good. And Allah will direct us to what that good is. When we want to go to California, we'll go out there. If they mess with stuff around here, go ahead. Mess with it. Do whatever you want to do. That's the same thing we say about the people. But what's our attitude? Let's see, look. It's reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the similitude of a heart is that of a feather. In a desert land, the wind frequently turns it upside down. You know, the heart is like a feather. And it's being turned. Well, we're going to participate in our own turning. And the other thing is, when we talk about going Star Trek, going where nobody's gone before, our process has to be the same way. Nobody has ever did this, what we're talking about. They haven't did this. They haven't been able to last. And nobody did. And nobody could even think about putting up with this all of these years. I haven't read it. I really looked for it. I haven't seen none of it. I haven't seen 2, 3 years of it. I haven't seen 5 years. I ain't seen nothing, none of it. With focus, with concentration, and with compassion. See, this transition, it has to be incorporated something, when it said go beyond where nobody's ever gone before, ain't nobody been here. And when you think of where ain't nobody been before, well, you ain't never been to Mars, but what about around here? Nobody have never exhausted the infinite human compassion. Yeah. Ain't nobody never tried it. They can't last. People last a few years. They don't even last. People get mad. They get mad soon. People get evil. They get upset. They get sad. It's like if you destroy whatever they're trying to do, they get sad. They get mad. You know, they get depressed. They get all kind of stuff. They get ulcers. They get suicidal. They get all kind. That ain't happening. We're giving them ulcers. We're giving them suicide. The other day it was so funny to remember we said the crackpot line is open. That's worth $1 million to me. 5 million easy. There's nothing but a phone call. And they call on the crackpot line and say number. They called on the crackpot line. And I'm saying, right, remember what we said? I said, okay, the crackpot line is open, and I got my phone in my hand. Remember that?
I remember.
I just got my phone in my hand, and that boy rings.
It rings.
I said, my goodness. Okay, that means that we're in control of some things. It's simple, it's stupid, but we don't look at it as stupid. We look at it as, see, they think all this stuff is real. If we did all of this stuff, and believe me, it's like, I know you think I'm lying. It's 20 times all this stuff. That's why when I get the stuff out, I just throw it all over. I said, man, because I come out, I say, I'm going to get it. That's why when I called, I said, we get down here.
Right, yeah, you get 30 minutes.
Yeah, just another 30 minutes. I want this organized. And I want to present it like in a courtroom and this, that. I said, man, this stuff is so much. And I had to leave. I leave like this boxes. This is nothing. It's not even, it could be 2 or 3% maximum. It could be, and this stuff is just from the last few years.
Right, that's recent. That's all.
This is all recent stuff. This is recent. Okay. What we're moving toward is just what we said. Look, Allah can, I don't know what other people make, but I already know. It's like going to California and the whole place, you can tell all of this, they own that. And I'm still here. Right? Just like when I was sitting in the hospital, I bet you I looked like a fool with all them stitches in the head. What did I say? Optimism. I couldn't say nothing else. Hell, I didn't know nothing else. Can you imagine? I didn't know my prayers. I couldn't say Fatiha. I don't even know if I knew Bismillah. But I didn't know nothing. I couldn't do I couldn't do nothing, none of that. Then I walked down to the store. First I'd walk to the corner, then I'd walk down to the store, or to church, then to the store, walk back, and I started walking up the hill. And then I get a call from overseas. And the next day I was turning flips. The next day. Remember, I don't care what you say, I know what I was, and I know, and they giving me this stuff down at the house, talking about, read this, cat, dog, and all that crap. And I got enough sense to at least read this stuff. I couldn't remember it, but I was just going over the stuff I read. And I couldn't write. Just imagine, you see, okay, I'm gonna have to learn to write again. This thing here, I may have to start with my left hand, right? Amen. And in 3 days I was given a khutbah. Remember that?
Yeah.
3 days.
I didn't kind of believe it at the time because I was kind of, I didn't register. I saw the Imam came in. I was like, oh, look, it's the Imam. It's like, oh, it's the Imam.
It all, bam, just like that. That means the boss man, it's not just African Americans, it's Iranians. We got our foot up, everybody's behind. You gotta remember, they drew us, they wasn't thinking. First it was a Super Sunni crew to support the Islamic Revolution, Zafaban guys, Muhammad Al-Asi them, and that's a worldwide crew. Now remember, I'm going all over America, and I'm part of the worldwide crew. So, Indonesia, Malaysia, all over, everywhere. And I know all of these people, and all the movements, and all of this is going on. And they can't write me out of all of that, like now. They can't write me out of all of that. They've been trying for, it's been a good 15 years, but it ain't working. It's not working. When Dr. Siddiqui passed away, that's when they got started. We got to get this nigga off the, we gotta get him out of here. Because Dr. Siddiqui done said this and everybody done heard it too, right? So they gotta get their little fanfare going on. I just read one or two of these things and then I'll finish up. News press release, statement, remarks, readouts, testimonies. Press release, Treasury sanctions Iranian organizations and individuals supporting intelligence and cyber targeting of U.S. persons. February 13, 2000. Today, the U.S. Treasury Office of Foreign Assets Control designated an Iranian-based entity and organizations, international conferences that supported the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, and all of that. Sanctions to recruit and collect intelligence from foreign attendees, including U.S. persons and for associated individuals, OFAC, whoever they are, also designated a separate Iranian-based entity, 6 associated individuals involved in the targeted form of government and military personnel as part of a malicious cyber campaign to gain access to and implant malware in their computer systems. They talking about other people trying to do something to them. And in Iran, this blew up, that blew up, right? Yeah. In Lebanon, this blew up, that blew up, Treasury is taking actions against malicious Iranian cyber actors in covert operations that have targeted Americans at home and overseas as part of our ongoing efforts to counter the Iranian regime's cyber attacks. Treasury, Stephen Mnuchin is sanctioning New Horizons, the people that was doing this thing. New Horizons. The Hollywooders, all of them, New Horizons. Just like I told the feds, New Horizons, I said, that's y'all homeboys. I said, that's y'all home folks. And then they look stupid. And then propagating anti-Semitism. There's one guy that's for sure not with them. That's Ahmadiyya Jad. Boy, that guy's on the money. Actually, technically, he's a friend of mine. And hopefully they'll let him run next time. Because he's the only one, when he would come over here, he's the only one who would tell him exactly where he was coming from. You just assassinated, you just killed a woman the other day. He said, what did y'all do down in Virginia? Didn't y'all just send a woman to whatever they do down there, electric chair, a ladder hungry lady, right? They up on everything. And people used to think I was putting them up on all of that. I deny it. Anyway, that's part of it. There's another little funny thing. The U.S. Department of State wishes to bring to the attention of the Embassy of Pakistan, that's the Iranian intersection, a matter of concern. Mr. Clarence Reams, also known as Abdul Musa, born February 22, 1945. The United States government has information indicating that Mr. Reams is receiving payments from intersection. See them boxes, I take them to everybody. I said, if you want to put something in the box, they call it that a payment. Right? They call it a payment. I'm calling it a donation.
Right, it's a kind.
It's a donation. That's why I never worked for nothing. That's why nobody could ever pay me. I did everything I did and everything I do now. You can't pay me for it. You can't pay nobody enough money to put up with the scrap heap. What are you going to pay them? $1 zillion? You can't do it. So they got to be doing that fi-sabilillah, but then I have a box and say, hey man. So basically they came here to tell these two things. You got to stay away from your friend. I said, they're not my friend, they're your friends. And the proof of this is that what they did as soon as I open up, I want to thank the Iranian people for all the struggles they make. Boom, no more Imam Musa. Because you're telling the Iranian people, man, y'all doing good. You're doing better from where we're looking over here. You don't know how good you're doing. You're just thinking about the economy. It's hard to make it. I said, hey, man, you may not know it, but 40 or 50% of the people over here is having it harder than you are over there. And they got everything going for themselves over